Good morning. Welcome to Blood Moon Oracle, where we will be taking a look at the encouragement coming in from Spirit today, from your spirit guides, from your ancestors, from Source, from your higher self, right? So let's take a look. Today I'm using a special, a new deck that was a gift that I received here. It's the Ancient Stones Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. I am excited to dig into this deck. I saw some very beautiful things in this deck, and so that I definitely resonate with. So let's take a look at this deck, this new deck. Spirit is going to give us encouragement here. Let's see what they have to say today for us. What is the encouragement coming in today? And happy Monday, by the way. I hope today is getting off to a good start for you. And so if you have not, take a moment to like, share, comment. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you come on over to YouTube at Blood Moon Oracle and do so, okay? What is the encouragement for the day, Spirit? Sometimes when it's new, you got to kind of play with the cards and give them some bend, a little bit of bend, because for those of you that know, the cards sometimes stick together when you first open them up. But let's see, what is the encouragement for the day, Spirit? Please and thank you. Give us the encouragement of the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a few cards here. Then we're going to tap into one of our tarot decks. I think I'm going to use the light and the dark tarot deck. That one has been very revealing lately. I've enjoyed using that. Very enlightening. What is the encouragement coming in today, Spirit? Okay. I'm going to just take this one on the top. All right, let's dig in. Okay, I am back. And so we have the soul agreement, the sanctuary. Ooh, I love this. I love this. And the holy mountain. And so it really feels like the encouragement coming in today is about the fact that we have been chosen. Each of us have been chosen to lead a certain path. When we entered into the world, there was an agreement made, a soul agreement that led us on this specific path with different experiences. For each and every one of us, that's something very different. But this talks about, as I'm looking at this card, she has a baby in her womb. And so this talks about a calling from birth, an agreement that was made when you entered into this lifetime to actually travel this path that we're each traveling right now. And so there could be specific callings that you're feeling right now. There could be nudges and urges that you are experiencing right now, or you will. That's going to call you to actually step out and do something. I feel like between soul agreement and holy mountain, which is about being called to a specific place, possibly even a specific endeavor, right? The holy mountain talks about pilgrimage, possibly traveling paths least traveled, right? And it talks a lot about mountains on this particular card. It's about soul calling, sacred journey, and pilgrimage. And it talks about a few of the different mountains. There's a mountain in Japan. There's a mountain over in New England. There is a mountain that I've been to. Mount Shasta was also one of the mountains mentioned here. And it almost reminds me of taking a specific trip, a called trip, a trip that you're being called to take. And going to a place, there is actually a story in scripture about going to a place to receive something high up on the mountain, calling to a mountain, to a high place where you can actually receive, right? And so you may in fact be feeling called to a place less traveled. You may in fact be being called to do something, right? To take a trip, to go somewhere specific. Spirit is saying to listen to that call because it is very much destined for you. It is very much on your path. And when you listen and you go there, you are sure to receive what it is that's there, right? There's something special. Even when I went to Mount Shasta a couple of years ago, I felt called on that specific trip to Mount Shasta. I had my own plans, right? This was a time where I was just out and about, just traveling quite a bit. And I had planned to go down to Monterey, right? I was like, I'm gonna go back down to the beach, spend a couple of days on the beach and get me a room and just, relax and parlay. And right the day before, there was a clear sound, a clear clarion sound that I received that changed my plans. It changed my plans to Mount Shasta, right? I kept hearing Mount Shasta, Mount Shasta. And so I was listening and I said, okay, I hear you, but are you sure? Because I had my plans. Go kick it on the beach and probably have a little wine, but Spirit had something very different. Spirit called me to Mount Shasta. And so I listened. And from the moment that I stepped, even all the way there were just this messaging pouring in, revelations that I still haven't shared because it's so deep and so big. It's like, wow, how do you share that? How do you share that? And Spirit is going to give me a time and a place to actually share that, what I found on the way there. But from the moment that I said yes to that, instead of doing what I had planned, it was like this outpour of revelation and channeling that came through as I was traveling down. And when I stepped on the city, on the ground, it was almost like very sacred. It just felt sacred. I don't know. I've only been there once. I don't know if it's the ground of Mount Shasta or if it was just my calling there. I guess it could have been both. But there's something very sacred about that trip from the moment that I stepped there. And it wasn't about, relaxing and kicking back and sipping on wine. And this was a sacred calling. This was something very destined, very divine. And yes, I received what I went to Shasta for. I received it. And so you may be being called, even though it was snowing and I didn't get to traverse up the mountain, right? Being there and the obedience of going where I have been called in that moment. So you may be experiencing something very similar, like you may be being called to do something or to go somewhere. There's a soul calling, a soul mission, a soul plan. There's a purpose placed on your life. You may be feeling that very strong right now. And I feel like wherever that is you're being called to, Spirit is going to meet you there. They are going to meet you there. Your spirit guides, your ancestors. The sanctuary is about the meeting place, right? There is many places around the world where there are ancient, sacred places that were built where rocks were erected up straight, right? As we look in this picture, there's like, I forget the name of that place where the rocks, there's a very famous place where rocks are standing up. If you know what that place is, place it in the comments for me, where rocks are standing up. And it's like very famous, known around the world. And this was actually like a sacred ground. I believe it would have been like a place where they would go and have probably sacred rituals, you know, because it feels very close to spirit. It feels very illuminated, and spirit is going to meet you there, basically, is what this is saying. Somebody is being called to do something, to take a trip, and it may be off of the path that you're on right now, but it's destined. This is something that was agreed upon before you even came into the world. This is a soul, for those of you that know what soul contracts are, right? It's the idea that before we enter into the world, we make an agreement to have a certain type of experience and to, you know, be challenged with certain things, right? To come and to achieve certain things, you know, for certain purposes. And so it's almost like that. This is on your path, whether it takes you 10 years to meet that and to connect with that agreement, or whether it takes you 50 years, right? It's destined. And this is what you agreed to do before you came here. And so someone could be feeling deep callings right now. And it may be like anything that you felt or anything that you've learned about. It may be like anything that you've experienced, what you are being called to right now. Nevertheless, you are, in fact, being called. Let's get some tarot for you. I'm going to pull from the light part of my deck. This feels like, you know, even being in a time, a very beautiful time where you wake up in the morning and things are just good. You know, you wake up and you feel like, even though it's very rainy outside, you feel like the sun is beaming through your blinds and shining on your face and giving you a very light wake-up call. Like, wake up. It's time to get up. And so when you open your eyes, you're smiling and you're like, okay, I'm up. What are we doing today? You know, what do you have for me today, Spirit? It feels very soft and beautiful and just very enjoyable, right? And so you may, in fact, be feeling that, right? Now, I feel like a lot of things are changing right now. The way that you're seeing things, how you're interpreting things. The Five of Swords came out, which can sometimes allude to internal conflict. But in this case, I'm feeling more along the side of the Five. The Five talks about a change in the way that you think. A change in thoughts, a change in your thought patterns. You know, understanding on a deeper level what's happening in your life or around you, you know. And so this feels like understanding a situation from beginning to end. And understanding why it had to happen that way. Though it may not always be something pleasurable that we ask for, like surgery. Nobody asks for surgery, but the fact is that surgery is usually necessary to remove a situation, to remove something possibly that could be deadly or detrimental to the overall existence. So it's necessary. And the surgery brings in a level of healing, so that you can continue on. And so this is seeing the means to an end, right? And seeing why it had to happen that way. And so this may be a little bit shocking, right? It may be even a little bit, conflictual internally, but it's somebody's coming to an understanding. And because of this, there is a change to how you're thinking and how you're seeing things. There's a change to your thought process. And that can absolutely be disturbing, especially when you've believed one way for a long time and then all of a sudden you find out it's something totally different, right? But understanding that and being open to that leads to the Six of Wands, which is victory. You understanding that in the end, this is really to serve you. This has all been set up for you to win. That's what the Six of Wands represents. It represents victory and success, triumph, and this could also be, because the Six of Wands, also talks about the home front. And so this could be not only winning or triumphing over something for yourself, but it could be for all of those that are connected to you. Yeah. And being able to fulfill something for even more than just yourself, something greater than you. This is not just about you, but there's a bigger picture to this as well. Not that it's going to be easy. That's not what Spirit is saying. There will be very beautiful parts that we'll experience, but there's a bigger purpose here. We're talking about purpose. We're talking about a mission, right? We're talking about a calling, a journey, a plan. We're talking about a pilgrimage, This is bringing to my mind a movie that I watch. I forget the name of it, but it talks about the first Black family that moved into like a suburban area. Yes, and I'm going there, okay? And it was like they were the pilgrims they were the first to do that. And I'm thinking of all of the trauma that they had to go through to break through the schisms that existed within that dynamic. I can't remember the name of that movie. What was the name of that movie? But it talked about it was a 4-member family, the mother, the father, and 2 girls. And it talked about how it traumatized each of them in different ways. And it took a look at each of their lives and how each of their lives were affected by this mission, by this purpose. Yes, they broke through that barrier. They broke through that stereotype and those boundaries that were placed up for them, but there was a price to pay. And it showed how there was this torment that was happening internally, because it was not just a physical battle. This was a spiritual battle. It was a spiritual battle. I'm going to have to look it up and post that movie down below. It was a spiritual battle that they were fighting. And that's something that can actually lead us to that 5 of Swords when we realize, it's not just flesh and blood. It's not just, what I can see. There's a whole different operation happening underneath the surface. It's a spiritual battle. Okay? We're not wrestling against flesh, against blood, but this is about spiritual powers in high places. And so that right there is mind-blowing, because when you look at someone that's acting out of character towards you, It's not that person, but it's the spirit that rules that person. There's a spiritual element there. And that could take me all day to go into. I'm not going to go there, but just to give you the idea that Spirit says that there's the understanding here that you have the victory. But it's not just for you, right? This is for the home front. This is for those that are connected to you, right? And so understand the value of what it is that you're bringing, what it is that you're doing, what you're opening up, what you are championing, and who you're championing for. It's more than just for you. Okay, let's get one more and then we're going to end this out. And we have the King of Cups coming out here, which is coming in the encouragement. And so the King of Cups is definitely someone that is revered as generous and talented, very compassionate and brilliant. You know, the thinking of a King of Cups is brilliant. So Spirit could be telling you to understand what it is that you have inwardly, right? All of the things that you've been given. Those things are larger than life, right? Those are the things that fill us with confidence as we move through life. But those are also the things that we use as inspiration for others. And even standing at the head as a leader, whether it's for a family or whether it's for a people, a community, a village, your tribe, right? Those are the things that we put at the forefront as we lead others. And as we extend ourselves with nurture, with care, and it becomes difficult sometimes, you know, but that's what we're being called to do. And I feel like for whoever I'm talking to, you could probably be someone who's very emotionally available, emotionally secure in who you are, someone who has been this very strong connection for people. There's something that you offer, because the King of Cups, that's what the King of Cups does. He connects. That's his strong point. That's his strong suit. But there's intelligence with that. There's strength with that, right? There is resiliency, and there's a level of, you know, being faithful to what it is that you do and what you believe in and what you stand for. In some type of way, Spirit is recognizing and telling you to continue to provide, whatever that is, and continue to be a good steward of that. Whatever you have, your property, those that are placed under your care. And if you do that, if you are integrous to what it is that you're being called to, as I said, there's going to be very delightful parts of this journey. There may also be some things that are difficult to process, difficult to endure. Nevertheless, you are equipped and empowered to do that. And there's a part of this co-creation and this co-mingling with Spirit with you on this. If you're open to listen and be guided, Spirit is saying, I will keep your foot from slipping. Okay, I know it's not easy. That's why I am treading here with you on this pilgrimage. I will keep your foot from slipping. And so no need to be afraid. Be bold, be courageous, stand in what you are and what you've been given and what you've been called to do, whatever that is, okay? Be open to delve in deeper, okay? I feel like someone is being called here. Someone's being called out. You may be feeling this and hearing this and just kind of quieting that voice. Well, Spirit is bringing it back up to the surface and letting you know here today, yes, you're hearing that just right, okay? So don't doubt what it is you're hearing. This is also a time for you to trust and believe in yourself. The King of Cups is absolutely intuitive as well. And with that intuition, there is a level of needing to understand and trust what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you're hearing. That's part of your strength. Okay? And so that's what I am hearing. That's the encouragement for today. Allow yourself to go. Where are you being called to? What are you being called to do? This is a turning point in someone's life. I feel like it's huge. It's a turning point. This is it. What you've come here for. This is about soul contracts, okay? Now, this is a general reading, and so if you would like a personal reading, I'm going to place my email and my calendar down below. If you want to go further and discover more, click those links. Hit me up in my email. I'd be happy to do that. Until then, like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't, hit the bell so you'll be notified when we post new content, okay? This is for you, the encouragement of the day, straight from your spirit guides, from spirit source, your higher self, okay? Thanks for stopping by with Blood Moon Oracle this morning. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll see you soon.